We believe every parent wants to leave behind a legacy for their children. What do you want people to remember about you when you are gone? What story is your life writing that will be left for generations to come?
Our children listen to us most intently by watching us live, knowing we live like we mean it. Dad lived with character, conviction, and passion in everything he did. The most indelible legacy is the way we live.
Our dad always supported anything that we, as kids, wanted to do. When we were young, we spent many weekends at Bonnie Dam, fishing, camping, swimming, and water skiing. Family vacations to snow skiing resorts and lakes that we camped and fished at were always fun times. Some of our fondest memories were sitting in the boat fishing with Dad, trolling for walleye or whatever fish would be biting that day.
He taught us how to water ski and bragged about his younger days, how he could start and end on the beach without getting wet. And he proved it to us many times. There were times, though, that we brought him in a little too hot to the bank a time or two and watched him tumble to the shore.
Grounding your purpose in a greater purpose that encompasses connection with all aspects of life is critical. Loving like our life depends on it, sharing stories with our family, being honest, and by giving our family the gift of time. Dad certainly gave us that gift of time.
We all learned how to show steers together in 4-H and FFA. 14 years of Dad's time was spent in the trenches on this project with us, and we learned how to have an eye on how to choose the best quality livestock within our budget. We became successful, and after multiple wins in the show ring over the years, Dad taught us also how to be humble winners. He encouraged us to hold workshops and share our knowledge and skills to help our competitors learn the skills to join in our success. He knew this would help to eliminate our feelings of it's lonely at the top as we continued our success in this industry, and he knew this would help us in other aspects of service to others for our adult life.
We learned how to AI cows and breed them for pedigree and performance. Learned how to show sheep and many other things in 4-H and FFA, where we learned leadership and gained confidence in our abilities to propel us into officer-type positions to help us for our futures. We remember being in the middle of fitting our steers and show, and Dad would say, "Hey, are we having fun yet?" Then he'd laugh, keep on going as sweat was just pouring off of him. The countless hours spent preparing for 20 minutes of glory in the show arenas at spring shows, fairs, and many national shows cannot even be documented. This preparation for time together was undeniably the most important part of the journey of our life together.
Our parents always wanted us to have the opportunities in life they could never afford. They instilled the can-do attitude in us that still remains today. We are now passing on that legacy as we raise our own families. We each live a story. The best stories are grounded in principles and purposes that are timeless and certainly bigger than we are.
Dad always found a way to positively make the best of any bad situation. Our electricity would notoriously go out during the winter months, sometimes for many days. This gave us a great opportunity for hide and seek as a family. This is now carried on with our own families, with or without electricity. Running out of gas in our cars was quite often an occurrence for Kim and Chris, mostly for Chris. Dad's words were always, "Did you know that your car will run the same on the top half of the tank just as it does on the bottom 1/8? Did you know you were almost out of gas?" And the response was, "Well, I thought I could make it, Dad. I didn't have time to get gas." Please note, there was a gas tank for our use at home.
But it didn't stop there. Getting stuck in the snowbank or mud was also not unheard of. Dad seemed to always be on standby for these adventures where we would perhaps go around the road closed sign because we just wanted to get home, or just somehow we ended up in a ditch. We knew he would always come to our rescue, and he even recruited neighborhood friends, Vern Bauer and Carlisle James, on many occasions.
Dad always had that sense of adventure. This often showed up during a blizzard. "Hey, let's just see if we can make it to town. It don't look too bad out there. If we hit it hard, we can probably make it through that snowdrift in our driveway to get on the main road. Come on, let's go." And of course, we were all in. Okay, Dad, let's go. 12 miles later and 6 hours later, with Mom patiently waiting our phone call, we'd call from Redfront. Hey, guess what? We made it. We're on our way home now. Need anything else? We didn't bring a wallet, but we can just charge it. We usually made it home by sunup. Yes, the adventures and memories were definitely a treat.
Even when we have nothing else to give, we still have love. If we love our spouse and our children with commitment and enthusiasm like he did, that's a legacy like no other. Many hours were spent playing board games, hearts, card games, and of course, blackjack and Texas Hold'em. Kim's fondest memories of playing hearts was when Dad would say, "Hey, I'm going to run 'em," or "Smoke that queen," and with great conviction, he would slap that queen down on the table after he would choose who was going to get it. Chris's tears were always great when she was on the receiving end as the victim. He'd say, "Boom, 13 points." And then, "Yum, yum, yum, eat that up. Does that taste good?" And Chris would start crying. And he'd say, "Quit your crying. It's your turn."
For many years to come, as we face crucial life choices and decisions, Dad's legacy and visions he had will help us to navigate our thoughts in our futures with questions of, hey, in this situation, what would Dad do?
Dad was our biggest supporter and guiding hand. His advice, no matter if it was financial, personal goals, or matters of the heart, was always well thought out and sound. He challenged our thinking and always helped us strive to be the best. Dad's experience and success as an athlete gave him the tools to be an amazing personal coach and supporter for our own successes in sports because he had the insight of personal experience. His no-quit attitude was instilled in our work ethic in sports that we were involved in. Even down to the, "Oh, Lee, your ribs are broken? Oh, well, don't bear hug him the next time during your match. Use a different move." Or,
"Oh, Chris, your wrist is in a cast? Oops. Let's go out by the shop and practice discus with your offhand, and you will probably still qualify for state. Here, let me show you." Or, "You came in first? Why were you looking over your shoulder while you were running? You did not put out your best effort if you are looking behind you. Maybe tomorrow you can put up a personal best. You can do it." Yes, he always saw the positive and gave us that no quit, do your best attitude.
Dad and Lee spent countless hours in the shop rebuilding cars, rebuilding motors, learning together how to troubleshoot mechanical issues and pretty much anything under the hood or under the sun. They created Lee's first pickup by starting with a frame and a body. And after a motor, a tranny, and a paint and body work with dual stacks, the Blue Devil was born. Lee's love for mechanics began with Dad and is still the heart of his life. From joining forces through many years as a team with custom harvesting and trucking, Lee carries these skills and love for mechanics with him. Thanks, Dad.
Dad's diagnoses over the phone with our vehicle issues will certainly be missed. We could call him up and say, "Hey, Dad, listen to this. Tell me what's wrong." And we could hold our phone near the vehicle for him to hear it. And he always somehow came up with something legit to diagnose the next steps for us. Kim always called Dad her ace in the pocket while she was working on a farm for employment, the secret mechanic from afar.
One of his biggest proclamations was that he was a self-made man. He learned everything he needed to know on his own accord. He learned to be a mechanic, a rancher, a farmer. He learned to be a harvester, learned to be a welder, learned to be an amazing father, learned to play steel guitar, banjo, and his harps. He didn't even read music. And the list goes on. He always strived to be his best and taught us to do the same. He modeled through his own behavior the expectations he had for us.
Dad was very proud of us as children and also as the adults we have now become. He is proud of his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren. His legacy will live on. He will be greatly missed. Love you forever, Dad.
Love you.
Kim and Chris and Lee.